Welcome to Tennessee's at-home learning series for literacy. Today's lesson is for all our first graders out there, though all children are welcome to tune in and enjoy today's lesson. This is the second in our series. My name is Miss Clark, and I'm a first grade teacher in Tennessee schools. And I can't wait, boys and girls, to be your teacher for this lesson. So welcome to our virtual classroom. If you didn't see any of our previous lessons, you can find them online at www.tn.gov/education. Although you can still tune in and enjoy today's lesson, boys and girls, even if you haven't seen any of the others. But it might be first more fun to go back and watch the others, since we're going to be talking about a few things we learned previously. Now, boys and girls, today we are going to be working on using clues to discover the meaning of unknown words. Before we get started, you're going to need a few things to participate fully. You'll need a paper, a pencil, and a surface to write on. And boys and girls, you can also go online and find our teacher packet for this lesson under ELA Grade 1 Lesson 17. You can find that on our website, www.tn.gov/education. Okay, let's get started. Now, before we go into today's new lesson, let's take a quick look back at the independent work I asked you guys to work on our last lesson. We wrote a sentence about birds, didn't we? And did you make sure that you had your capital letters at the beginning, boys and girls? Very nice. I bet all of you did a great job with that. We've been working super hard on that. And I'm betting that you had ending punctuation. Give me a thumbs up if you used punctuation marks at the end. Wonderful. Now, boys and girls, I also challenged you to use at least 2 words from our list, right? We had a chart, and I bet you guys included lots of these great detailed words to your writing. Maybe even some of you wrote more. 2, 3? Really challenging your brain. I bet you guys did a great job, and I wish I could read all those great details in your sentences. Now, we are going to continue to think about birds in today's lesson. And today, we're going to be using clues to discover the meaning of words that you might not know, boys and girls. Now, this will begin with me showing you what that looks like. And then we're going to practice together, and you guys are going to have some time with my support. And finally, I will assign you guys your independent work that you can complete after the lesson is finished. Now, I'm remembering that in our last lesson, we read a riddle, didn't we? That ended up being about what? Can you say it? Yeah, birds. Now, today, we're going to read a poem about birds. And one thing that's wonderful about a poem, boys and girls, is it uses great language. And this language might include words or even phrases that help us to get a wonderful, beautiful picture in our mind. So it uses those nice, detailed words that help us with that. And the poem we're going to read today might include some words you've heard before, but it might include some words that you've not heard before. So you be listening for them. And the author of this poem wrote it in that way that we will be able to learn the meaning of some new words based on what you already know. So we're going to pay extra close attention to the words today, boys and girls. And maybe you'll even be able to use them in your writing at the end of our story. So let's start by listening to our poem. It is called A Bird Walk by Rihanna Patterson. Now today, as I read my poem, I want you guys to help me out with my reading. I'm going to read it, and then when I point to you, boys and girls, I want you to say it with me, and I want you to read it to me. See if you can copy me. Here we go. This is called choral reading or echo reading. I read and you read. We went walking. We went walking. Good job, boys and girls. Just like that. Into the park to find some lovely little birds. My dad said, look. My dad said, look. That bird is pretty. That bird is pretty. Great, boys and girls. That bird is gorgeous, I said to Dad. That bird is gorgeous, I said to Dad. My dad said, look. My dad said, look. Great job. Those wings are big. Great. Those wings are humongous, I said to Dad. Let me hear it. Those wings are humongous, I said to Dad. My dad said, look. That beak is little. That beak is little. Great job, boys and girls. That beak is minuscule, I said to Dad. Let me hear you say this big word, boys and girls. That beak is minuscule, I said to Dad. You guys are doing a wonderful job reading after me. My dad said, look. My dad said, look. Those feathers are bright. Those feathers are bright. Good. Those feathers are brilliant, I said to Dad. Here we go, boys and girls. Those feathers are brilliant, I said to Dad. We went walking into the park and found some stunning little birds. Very nice, boys and girls. You did a great job reading that after me. Very nice. Now, man, that was a fun poem, huh? It was almost like a song. It had a melody, didn't it? Wow, there were some very interesting and very cool words in that story that I heard, huh? Now, boys and girls, what we're going to do now is get out our piece of paper and a pencil, and we're going to dig deeper into this poem. So go ahead and grab that. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Very nice. Now, we are going to do a little writing as we look deeper into our poem today. And before we do, you're going to need to take your paper and you're going to need to do a fold. Remember, Miss Clark likes to say when we fold it long ways, we call it hot dog style. Great job. And now we're going to do another fold, boys and girls. And we call this hamburger style, right? It's like a little hamburger bun. Once you have your two folds, now we have our 4 boxes that we can write in as we dig deeper. Now, boys and girls, I want you to look at the pictures on your screen. Now, I have several pictures of the things that we saw on our walk in the park in the poem. What do you think this first one is, though, boys and girls? Everybody whisper into your hand, and everybody shout it out with me on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Bird, that's right. They saw a bird, didn't they? So we're going to write the word bird in our first box. So you go ahead and try it. Bird. Does it look like mine? Wonderful job. Now let's see what else that we saw in our walk in the park. What was this, boys and girls? What did they see in our poem? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wings, that's right. We talked about all those wings, right, boys and girls? So let's go ahead and write that in our next box. Wings. Wonderful job. And boys and girls, what about this? What else did they talk about in our poem? Ready, whisper into your hand and shout it out on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Beak. Great job. We can see all those beaks that they talked about in our story, right? Our poem. And one more thing we heard in this story, boys and girls, in our poem, Bird Walk. Everybody tell me this on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Feathers. Amazing, boys and girls. So let's write feathers in our last box. Feathers. So now we have our 4 things. We're going to think about these things as we revisit our poem. Now I'm going to reread, and I want you to think of the words, because I remember I told you that we would be learning some new words in this poem, important words, and the poem would help us to understand what they mean, right? Even if we didn't know what they meant. So you listen as I reread some parts, and you listen for those words that describe my 4 things that we saw on our bird walk. Words that describe birds, wings, beaks, feathers. We might even find out some meanings as we're doing it, boys and girls. I bet so. My dad said, "Look, that bird is pretty. That bird is gorgeous," I said to Dad. Boys and girls, did you hear our first 2 describing words? Can you point to them? Yeah, so can you find some words to describe our bird? Very nice, boys and girls. Pretty. Now, we all know what the word pretty means, don't we? That is a describing word, and we call those adjectives. Can you say that with me? Adjectives. That is a very common describing word. I bet you all have used that word before in a sentence. Maybe you're talking about your new doll or your favorite color, right? So let's record that describing word in the bird box. Pretty. Very nice. Now, did you hear another describing word, boys and girls? Yes, gorgeous. Wow. Now, gorgeous might not be a word you've ever used before. Do you think pretty and gorgeous might mean the same thing? Very nice. Yeah. Gorgeous means absolutely beautiful, definitely pretty, right? They think that something gorgeous is going to be really beautiful. They cannot take their eyes off of it. They mean the same thing. So we can use those details in the story to help us infer that, can't we? The narrator, the person telling our story, they must think that the bird is even more beautiful than the dad, huh? So let's add that word. Gorgeous. Did you add your next describing word? Awesome job. Let's keep reading and see if we can find some new unknown words. My dad said, look, those wings are big. Those wings are humongous. I said to Dad. I just heard some more, boys and girls. Could you think of any describing words to describe the wings? Yes, everybody show me what big looks like. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, big. Let's write that on our chart. That's a word that you probably already have in your brain, right, boys and girls? Big. But did you hear that other challenging word in the story? Maybe you didn't know what that meant. It's a fun word to say, huh? Humongous. Wow, so if something is humongous, boys and girls, do you think it's small? No, you're right. We can infer that it's definitely not going to be small because the other person in our poem is already telling us it's big, and they are thinking that it's even bigger, humongous. I'm thinking something humongous might be the giant in our story, Jack and the Beanstalk. Yeah, something even bigger than you can imagine, right? So let's write that new word in our wing box. Humongous. That is a great challenge, a great detail word. It really helps us to describe those wings, huh? My dad said, look, that beak is little. That beak is minuscule, I said to Dad. Thumbs up if you heard a new word that we could use to describe the beak. Awesome, boys and girls. What was it? Little. Very nice. So under our beak box, I want you to write the word little. That is one of our adjectives or describing words that they used, huh? Little. And did you hear a challenge word? Did you hear a word that you might not know about yet? It was a funny word, huh? Did you say it? Minuscule. So, if they first said the beak is little, are you thinking minuscule might mean the kind of the same thing as little? Yeah, that's what I'm inferring, right? Because the narrator is having about the same thoughts as the dad. And minuscule means super, super small or tiny. So just like before, the dad was thinking the wings were big, and the narrator was thinking they were humongous, right? Even bigger. Now, the dad is thinking the beak is little, and the narrator must be thinking it's even, that's right, boys and girls, smaller. That means minuscule, much smaller. So let's write that challenge word that we've added to our brain now. That's a great one. Minuscule. That is a great describing word. Fantastic job. Now I'm going to reread one more piece of the poem. Listen really carefully, and I'm going to ask you 2 questions once I finish reading. You ready? My dad said, "Look, those feathers are bright. Those feathers are brilliant." I said to Dad. So boys and girls, can you tell me what part of the bird this piece of the poem is describing? Whisper into your hand. Ready? On the count of 3, everybody share it out together. 1, 2, 3. Feathers. Very nice, boys and girls. They're describing the feathers. So we're going to write it in our feather box. And did you pick up on some words that they used to describe those feathers, boys and girls? How they looked to create that image or that visual in your mind? Very nice. Yes. Bright. So let's write that. They described the feathers as bright. So I bet you're picturing maybe neon green or yellow or a very vivid purple. That's a great way to allow your reader to get that big, beautiful picture in their brain using describing words, just like this author did. And boys and girls, I want you to point to the other describing word that you see on your screen. You're right, it starts with a B also. What was it? Brilliant. Brilliant. So I'm wondering what brilliant might mean, boys and girls. When they say the feathers are brilliant, are you picturing a feather that's black? Gray? No. You already know that Dad described them as bright, right? So we can infer that brilliant must be amazingly colorful, right? Because this narrator likes to describe things in more detail, right? So brilliant means vivid, with bright colors, right? Colorful. Let's write that word, brilliant, on our chart. Oh, brilliant means amazingly colorful, amazingly beautiful. Makes your eyes really want to look at it. Very nice job, boys and girls. Now we have describing words for each thing we heard about in our bird walk. You guys did a great job with that, helping me pull out those describing words as we dug deeper. Now, boys and girls, now that we have found some evidence in the text to describe birds, let's see how we would use describing words in a sentence. Now, I want you to think about that as you write. How could we use these words in a sentence? We would start with a capital letter, right? So I'm going to go ahead and grab my other piece of paper, and I'm going to start my sentence with a capital, of course. And I'm going to write that I saw, and then I'm going to write a blank. Okay? I saw blank bird with blank wings. So our sentence is going to be framed like this. Now, of course, you don't have to draw your blanks. We're just looking at mine as an example for me to model for you how to add those describing words into your sentence. I saw a blank bird. So I have to use a describing word for Miss Clark in my complete sentence. So I'm going to go back to my chart, and I'm going to look at the details we found. Oh yeah, and I remember that we used the word pretty and gorgeous to describe the bird, right? So I'm going to choose the word pretty. So I'm going to write that in my complete sentence. I saw a pretty bird. Now we have our first part of our sentence. I saw a pretty bird with blank wings. So now I'm going to have to use a word that describes the wings. I'm going to go back and look at my chart that has my ideas from our text. And I'm remembering that we heard the word big and humongous. So I'm going to choose one of those words to write my complete sentence. And I'm going to write it into my complete sentence. And now, boys and girls, we have a nice, strong, complex sentence that has a few describing words or adjectives that gives my reader detail and helps them visualize or picture what I'm wanting them to see in their brain. I saw a pretty bird with big wings. And of course, we added our ending punctuation mark to close our writing. Very nice following along, boys and girls. Now we have found our evidence in our text and we've pulled it out, and I have modeled for you how to use those describing words in our sentence. Now I want you to answer the following question for me today. I went for a bird walk, and what did I see? So I want you to finish that sentence for me today. And make sure you write in at least one, or maybe you can challenge your brain and write 2 complete sentences answering my question today. Try to use your words from the chart using those nice new describing words that you have in your brain now. And don't forget to add capital letter and that ending punctuation mark. Boys and girls, you even might want to go outside with an adult and actually go outside and walk around and see if you can find some birds and go on your own bird walk. Then I bet you'll definitely be inspired for some awesome detailed describing words in your sentences. You might even be able to come up with some new words, right? To tell about what you saw on your walk. Boys and girls, I so enjoyed today's poem and working with you guys to use those clues to discover the meaning of some great new words. Thank you for inviting me into your home, and I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson in Tennessee's At Home Learning Series. Have a great day, boys and girls.